And now, moving on, we're gonna go with the next speaker, Mr. Florin Paun. Florin Paun is Head of Mission Technology at Safe Cluster CAFE, focused on aerospace, security, defense, and risk prevention sector, and based in France. Florin, are you with us?
I hope I am.
Yes, you are. We can hear you very well. Thank you for joining us.
Excellent. Hello, everybody.
And I believe your presentation is about new strategies for innovation, overriding resistance, and becoming game changers. So I think it's quite connected with the previous presentation we had. It's in the same area, so you have the floor.
In fact,
Thank you very much
Alin
for
just
being here.
introduced me.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Florin, for joining, and please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Just to be sure, how long it will be?
Until 11 o'clock, so it's 25 minutes from now on.
I will start to share my screen.
Perfect.
Okay. Is the screen on? Yes, I see it.
Yes.
Okay, I will skip in diaporama. Okay, so
Awesome.
I'm here to share with you some of my experience I grabbed from more than 300 projects related to innovation. Okay, the majority of them I had it when I was innovation director for the ONERA, which is a kind of French NASA, but also I have more than 100 as European Innovation Council jury pilot member. And now I will try to share with you why it's working when it's working and why it doesn't work when it doesn't work. Okay, so let's move. First of all, just to be sure that we understand the same stuff, because I've seen Aline try to define innovation a little bit. Innovation is creativity, so you need to be smart indeed, but you need to create value from the new idea. The definition I like the most, I have it from one of my professors at MIT Sloan, Eric von Hippel, lead user method, let's say inventor, as a model to innovate. And he said that innovation is successful exploitation of a new idea. In these four keywords, you have everything you believe about innovation. So new idea, but also successful exploitation. Let's see what means this. What means value in socio-economic terms. And from economical point of view, value is linked to four keywords: commercial, capital, access to resources, which provides you the capacities, and of course the human capital, the so-called intelligence that Aline said you have it for free, because it's not for free, you pay the guy, but it could be unlimited. By the way, the third last keywords are building together what Amartya Sen, a Nobel Prize, defined as dynamic capabilities. So these are the capacities you possess together with the ability to use the capacity. And they are dynamic. What do you think you have today? Tomorrow, you have to take care about. Is the value material or intangible asset? And if you don't believe me, look to the intellectual property. This will provide you registered trademarks, so with direct impact on commercial. This will provide you rights to use capacities, new technologies. And of course, know-how, it's also, since 98, the agreement from Marrakesh, considered IP if it's substantial, secret, and consistent. But what about information? Is this a value? If you don't believe it's a value, look to the value of Twitter, knowing that in 2018, it was the first year when they become beneficial. So until 2018, they only lose money. And they still were valued in the stock option exchange with more than billions. Okay? So information, it's in Twitter because 96% of the tweets are, hey, I'm Paris Hilton, look at me, I'm drinking a champagne. So it's nothing as a value. But 4% of the tweeters, 4% of about 160 million tweets per day, 4%, it's still more than 6 million tweets, are containing information related to opinions, to evaluations. So it's pure marketing, 6 million information. So that's why everybody bet on Twitter, even if he was losing money. I will be more provocative. Is stress avoidance a value? If you don't believe me, take a plane with Ryanair and you will see that you will pay 20 euro to stay in front. You will pay 20 euro additionally to have a luggage. So they create discomfort and then you pay to have the comfort. In fact, if you want to have the full comfort, you will pay the same money as for Lufthansa or for Air France, but at least you know why you paid, okay? Of course, also you see the electric plugs in. Everybody eventually in urban area wants to buy an electric car. You have the right to have a plug to charge your car, but at least in France you need 6 authorizations to charge your car, and nobody's proposing you to deal with the authorization. So including if I said to them, hey, I'm paying you 600 euro more to deal with the authorization for me, it's just a matter of avoiding stress. So yeah, stress avoidance is creating value. And in a way, the Human Rights Declaration, the original in French, because it was French, and the Citizen Declaration, define the so-called valeur d'utilité publique, so public utility value. As soon as you are doing something to make better the life of your humans around you, well, there you create value. Let's move more. New trends. I figurate here the value distribution channel for the commercial aviation where I'm operating in. Well, I know nowadays it's not so easy, but the one who's introducing money is the passenger who's paying an airline, who's paying for the aircraft only 7% from 100 euro to the aircraft, who has to the aircraft manufacturer, of course, who has his own development office and is going down to Onera. At that moment, we made our calculations, and from 100 euro, we took 2 cents, which was quite good. And then we are taking ideas from the basic R&D to innovate and go up to the passenger. Nowadays, they all go asking for strategic partners to develop for them. But there you add 15% of maintenance, and Ryanair, it's a genius in marketing because he understood that it's cheaper to buy a new plane than to maintain him. So he's operating the newest fleet in the world for the aircrafts. He has around 3.2 years in average. And now he's going to 5 because Airbus and Boeing were not able to supply. Boeing were not able to supply as fast he wants. But 15% for maintenance, just compare this with your car. So imagine that you buy a new car, brand new car for 20,000 euro, and then I'm telling to you that you will pay, let's say, 45,000 euro more to maintain and to repair over its lifetime. So you will tell me it's madness, Florin. I will change twice the car with the money. And indeed, you could do it, but it is not available for aviation. So Ryanair discovered this, and he's operating brand new aircraft, and he's reducing the maintenance to less than 5%. So only 10% in operational cost just by this. He's a genius in understanding business model. Services, 10%. Of course, kerosene is between 15 to 30%, depending the price for the oil barrel. And nowadays, yeah, by the way, airports are 4%. 4% for the airport taxis, when it is only 7% to possess or to be able to operate an Airbus. Just thinking about how the value is distributing. And this is very important, because if you don't understand how the money is flowing into your value chain, well, you are out. You cannot do a business. This is the so-called now value distribution tree. It looks like a tree with roots, with branches. Well, what about this guy? Here you have a tier one who is from automotive, and he's also supplying the aeronautics industry, because he designed a critical part of a plane, which is the cockpit. Okay, so the cockpit for the Dassault Falcon 6, which is the most trendiest biz jet. It was made by BMW design office. Okay, so nowadays everybody could supply everybody, doesn't matter what is the domain. The domain are intersecting each other. I could add agriculture, I could add energy, and of course I could add financial services, which are providing all the industry types with their services. And of course, and this will be nice for Cluj because it's related to ITC and digital. Digital, it's providing everybody like roots in a mango forest, and it become a mango forest interconnected. Okay, so again, think like this: everybody could supply everybody nowadays, doesn't matter the domain. Okay, why do they connect? Because this is a picture from innovation funnel designed like this by Professor Cheslow from Stanford, 2003, is the so-called open innovation model. All the funnels you've seen in the mango forest are not more sealed, they are open. So that's why everybody could connect with everybody nowadays, faster through digital, of course. And some examples: disrupting business models. What do you think about being able to do dynamic pricing for airlines? Okay, simply because you could calculate pricing very high at 3 months before you leave, very down 1 month before you leave, very high again 1 week before you leave, and very low if you still have some places at the last minute call. By the way, when you sit into an airplane, you have around 19 fares around you for the same seats, okay? But Amadeus, because we are speaking about Amadeus, he said to all the companies that they are able to fill the aircraft with a consequent number of passengers by using their platform. So that's why airline accept to pay 2.5% from a ticket to Amadeus. Just put this into correlation with 7% from Airbus. So I'm building a huge plane, very technological, with more than 500,000 parameters to monitor, okay, which is 80 million euro. And I still have only 7%. And the guy who's selling the ticket is taking 1/3 of the value of the aircraft, just to understand how you could impact the value chain with new ideas, dynamic pricing, and innovate and capture the value, okay? Let's speak about onboard connected pads. Could you buy a car nowadays who has not a connected tab there in a way into the board of the car where you could make a Android or Apple Car mirror with your smartphone? Nobody will buy such a car again nowadays. So you are still, imagine you are still a manufacturer of the car, but you could not sell your car because you have not a connected pad inside your board. Just to understand what it will create. And by the way, when you will have the fully autonomous car, legal issues and things like that, but when you will have fully autonomous car, the car will become from what is it nowadays, a social object you want to possess it, it will become an utility object. You will not possess it anymore. You will simply share it, okay? Good. I will go faster. By the way, technology readiness level. That's a Bible. That's a Bible for everyone who wants to innovate. Why it's a Bible? All the public money, Aline was speaking about public-private, all the public money nowadays invested in innovation are related to the technology readiness level money. If you want money to innovate, you need to speak about proof of concept, about lab prototype, about demo tech, about industrial prototype, about certification, and so on. This is related to technology readiness level. One, it's fundamental research. Two, it's applied research. Three, is proof of concept. Four, it's lab prototype. Five, it's robust design. You integrate from the market components already. Six, you made the demo tech in operational condition. Seven, you have the industrial prototype with wires, put it in again. But you could sell it if you are able to duplicate it 10,000 times. You made it once, do it 10,000 times. So that's why you're setting the production, the quality, the methods. It's the 8 and 9. You certify your product that you are respecting the norms, so you sell. Look how the number of ideas are going down for potential products and service, and look how the investment is going down deep in negative. You invest there, you have the first sales, but you also have to invest in commercialization, marketing, promotion. So this is the so-called death valley. When you innovate, you are living in a death valley, and you could remain in. And of course, a lot of them are remaining then, a lot of the projects. So you hope to become positive at the end to make your sales. These are the levels for risk while you take decision to advance over the TRL level. And of course, all along you will face other type of guys. You will speak with researchers, you will speak with engineers, you will speak with production guys, you will speak with commercials. All along you will speak with financials because you will ask for money, and everybody of them are behaving differently and have different motivations, and you need to make them working to the best as they can, okay? So this is the job of the entrepreneur. By the way, an entrepreneur is not a schmecker like in Romania, is the guy who knows how to make all the people surrounding him to work better, okay? Just to fix it. It's not a manager. It's different from a manager. It's a pure entrepreneur. Let's move. I put the TRL level down. So just to identify actors. In 1 and 2, you have R&D actors. Then you have large industrials with strategic roadmap. They have their own research laboratories. I'm looking in your domain in Cluj Digital. I'm looking Bitdefender, who even have a laboratory to research in artificial intelligence. They shook hands with the industries and they take the ideas and they implement it into the market. When they have global technology scouting, they are able also to integrate technology demonstrator from somebody else in order to compete with their technological demonstrator, and the best will win. This is the startup business. He's taking ideas from the laboratories and making a demonstration. It works. It could work in operation condition. Then they are doing their own on a niche market, or if they are going into a big market where are existing big players, they will have a venture, eventually they be bought. SMEs, barely they have R&D capacity, so this is a gap to be filled. And additionally, in this gap, remember the curve for investment. There are no money here. This is the so-called business angel stage on investment. Pre-seed for industrialization here, you need the seed money, and then for commercialization and distribution is the venture capital first series, the so-called Series A. Okay. Just to tell you that here you need dedicated structures, the so-called technology transfer centers. I wonder if in Romania we have such a important and aggressive, I will say, professional technology transfer centers. Collaborative tools as DRL versus TRL, you will understand far away. And of course, you need to compensate asymmetries, because let me tell you, an entrepreneur with a researcher, they are not made to discuss each other. So the tech transfer officer, his business is to make the translator between two different words. Just an example. We could go more in details eventually after the presentation. I take this, and just to tell you what is following, when you have TRL9, you will start your revenues curves, you will still continue to invest, and then you will have a positive cash flow with plus. So here, tech transfer offices, incubators for startups, business angels and public-private partnership, and of course, technology scouting and venture. At this stage, you need venture capital Series A in public partnership. Then you have the so-called, when you rise up, it's not so easy to rise up, because you think it's smooth, but it's going like hell. Okay, so you need the so-called, in Israel, they call it scalarator. So they are accelerators helping you to scale up your business. And just to tell you why this landscape, I made you here the description of what is meaning an innovative ecosystem. It's like a puzzle. If you have a missing element, it could not flow, simply like this. You really need to build an ecosystem where all the bricks are there. Just a suggested tool to compensate asymmetries, though. So technology readiness level we've seen. I am the inventor of the demand readiness level, which is here. I will not get into the details, but I think the organizer could share this with you at the end, and I'm open for questions even after the conference. Just to give you an example, I was structure and materials expert for the French NASA. I had around 15 publications for patents internationally, and I was quite happy because I have a huge number equal to 5. So I qualify as university professor in Romania, as for example, in structure and materials. I had around 150 citations of my work. As soon as I published demand readiness level, it took me 1/2 an hour to invent it. I had 160 citations in less than 6 months. So for the guys which knows the Pareto law, 80-20%, I said, God damn Pareto, you're right. So I worked 10 years for only 150 citations, and then I work only 1/2 an hour for 160 citations. By the way, you could do an innovation process at each level if the sum is superior to 9, just to imagine when you have to boost. So if the sum between the demand readiness level and the technology readiness level is superior to 9, go for it. You will have an innovation process. Tips to override resistance. You need to see the full picture. Build partner for all the elements. Never stay alone. Offer and you will take advantage. Take care. When you are getting into the network, don't ask yourself how you will take benefits. Get into a network by offering something. The benefits will come. And by the way, if you have a problem, someone face it already. So just look around you. Be aware, like Jean-Claude Van Damme said. Yeah, but even Jean-Claude Van Damme could be my mentor for 3 seconds. Be aware. Manage complexity by simplicity. This is the network, neural network of all the participants in the VivaTech in 2017, more than 3,000 guys. you will not understand them, who's where and what they are doing together. Okay, so you could manage the simplicity. Ecosys Group, a company I used to be in alliance with them, they are able to match the network and to allow you to understand the ecosystem. Identify instruments to compensate asymmetries. Just for example, all the experts will oppose to you a syndrome not invented here. So when you find the technology outside, you want to inject it into your company, they will say, not invented here. That's a syndrome. You need to create a cultural syndrome, opposite, which is proudly found elsewhere, and I will plug and play. Vanish the risk adversity, and also, of course, avoid bad advertising all the time, and specifically bet on entrepreneurially minded team. Okay, how to live in a mango forest. You need to detect and close deal 10 times faster. You need to detect technology you want and close it 10 times faster. Sentinels versus Predator. It's a very interesting movie about the mango forest in Indonesia, between the fight between the monkeys and the crocodiles. Okay, so the monkeys are surviving because they developed a permanently watching solution. They identify the crocodiles and they cross the rivers where the crocodiles are not. So how to distribute the created value in the mangrove, track the IP and metrics for this, with whom? Hybrid humans. Well, see the European Innovation Council, they are recruiting program managers for UE funding. And by the way, cross fingers for me, because I'm on a short list for becoming program manager for them. What activity and what to incentivize to create agility. So first of all, Aline spoke about design thinking. You need to think what the user will want, specifically for IT guys, because you are a kind of geeks developing things for geeks, which will not be used by the others. So just please take care about the usage. The production activity is like a rowing team, perfection. All the Six Sigma belt of lean management pass through here, 1% efficiency, perfect. They are even not looking where they are going. The small guy, the countermeister, he is giving the directions. Demonstration, rafting team, left, right. If someone is missing a stuff, the raft is turning, it doesn't work. And exploration, like the treasure hunters, where the treasure could be hidden, okay? So in order for them to be good, they need to be fast environment versus tools learners. For demonstration team is the MIT mantra: fail fast, fail cheap, try again. And the production is depending the speed of demonstrator adoption. So fast, speed, these are the words. And I finished. Thank you for your attention.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Paun. It was very insightful, and I really appreciate being in the startup ecosystem in Romania. I really appreciate the details about how a startup ecosystem and an innovative ecosystem should develop. So it was pretty insightful for me as well. We have one question, which is coming from the audience. How do you see, you mentioned a little bit about the Romanian innovation and technology transfer. What do you see is the most important thing that we, being in the Romanian ecosystem, could do in the field of technology transfer and moving research into the business area? What would be the most meaningful thing that we could do in order to go next level?
That's a wise and very wide question. From what I know, because I try to work with all the ministries around the 20 last years, it was with the Liberal government, very far beyond, with Anton as minister, who launched the first incubators, technology transfers, but they didn't work because it's a matter of culture. I think we need to change the culture in Romania. As I mentioned, the guy who's doing business, it's a schmecker, is not an entrepreneur. and this need to be changed. First of all, just to understand what means business based on technology, okay? And this is going through education. We need masters for in France, which is France is back, of course, but it was not so good before, let's say before Macron. We had about more than 30 master degree in entrepreneurship and innovation. We need masters in entrepreneurship, innovation. We need master in intelligence, economic, and survey. We need masters in technology scouting. And of course, we need to train technology transfer officers. And I'm sorry, but I only know, I will be optimistic, 2 technology transfer centers acceptable in Romania. Okay, then we need VCs, venture capital, and we have 3, 4 very good. We need business angels, and we have a network of business angels which appear. So from the private side, things start to run. They invest a lot in digital because it's much faster to get out, and it's not necessary need for technology transfer with a university like for hardware innovation process. But this is the part to be made. Definitely, we need to change through education, culture, and mentality. And of course, the money from the government could come again, but you could not put the money on if you have no people trained to be ready. I would say people, culture.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Paun. Our time is up. We appreciate your intervention, and we'll keep in touch in the future. Everyone, if you want to get in touch with Mr. Paun, you can search for his name on LinkedIn and connect with him there. Thank you for being here.
Please, thank you.
Cluj Innovation Days 2020 is part of the Future Skills lifelong learning program. The project is co-financed from the European Social Fund through the Human Capital Operational Program 2014-2020.